Right now, we're all kind of in this waiting period, waiting for law enforcement to update us on the Savannah Soto case. Of course, this happened during the holidays, so we have New Year's Eve and New Year's, but I'm thinking this week we'll definitely get some type of updates. But right now, everyone is just like analyzing that little piece of footage that law enforcement put out. And let me tell you right now, just because this is all law enforcement put out doesn't mean that's all law enforcement has. Law enforcement is usually a couple of steps ahead of what they let you know. I've covered plenty of cases like this one, not necessarily like this one, but I've covered enough cases to know how these things go. Law enforcement right now, when they put out that little clip asking for the public's help, often they kind of do that as a formality. Often they don't necessarily need the public's help, but they put it out there just in case to see who will step forward and start talking. And often people do step forward and start talking. Now, when it comes to this situation, I think a lot of people are going to be hesitant on telling law enforcement anything because look at the nature of the crime. If they're willing to do something like that to a pregnant young girl, they'll do it to anyone. And the people in the area know that. Hell, we know that while we're sitting here at home, right? So I can guarantee you, though, that because they put out that little snippet, they know what that truck looks like. Listen, we live in the digital age. We live in the digital age. There's a camera everywhere. So if they were able to pick up that little snippet and they see that truck in that parking lot of that apartment complex, I'm telling you right now, they're pulling traffic cams. They will come up to your house and ask you for your Ring doorbell camera footage. They're going to neighbors' houses. They're going around these apartments. They're getting all of this camera footage. And it's not like that truck just popped out of nowhere. That truck had to drive there from somewhere and it had to leave and go a certain direction. So I can guarantee you they got more videos of that truck. So once you kind of get caught on camera, even if it's grainy and you can't really tell who the person is, once you get caught and the cops know like a timestamp of when and where you were at, they're going to be able to pull all of this other footage and put something together. But, the reason I wanted to make this video is because during this waiting period, I feel like everyone is I feel as if everyone is focusing all of their attention on Matthew. And understandably so. Matthew had a lot going on, right? Matthew had a lot going on. And everyone's trying to figure out if he was in a gang. And listen, I made this point in a prior video. Just because this is some street stuff doesn't mean it has to be some gang stuff. Now, Matthew's a total stranger. I don't know what this guy does. I don't know who he hangs out with. I don't know if he's in a gang. But as far as I've seen, and I've looked through his Telegram, I didn't see like a lot of photos of him like chilling on the corner with a bunch of dudes. I didn't see a lot of photos of him out here throwing up gang signs with a bunch of dudes. Now, maybe photos of him like that exist. Maybe you all have seen things that I haven't. That's possible. But from what I've seen, it kind of looks like Matthew was doing his own thing. I always, saw videos and photos of him by himself. Now, all of the stuff that he posts is really incriminating. So maybe that's why he doesn't show anyone else. Because listen, if you go through this dude's Telegram, I am telling you right now, it was only a matter of time before this dude went away for a long time. If the cops ever saw his Telegram, he was going away for a long time. I was looking at the Telegram and it was just like, that's a charge, that's a charge, that's a charge. This is a charge, and he's doing all of this publicly, and I'm not talking misdemeanors, I'm talking Fs, I'm talking felonies. So eventually, when things caught up with this dude, he was going to go to jail for a long time. But unfortunately, he got killed before that happened. But everyone is focused on Matthew. And I don't think that a lot of people are looking at Savannah like, maybe she was the target. Everyone thinks that Savannah was collateral damage and that Matthew was the target. But I think that it's just as likely that Savannah was the target. Listen, she's an 18-year-old girl. She's pregnant. So, everyone views her in this innocent light. Now, I don't know her. I'm not saying that she's not innocent, but she had some not so innocent stuff going on. I mean, for one, she was tagging along with Matthew. Now, as reckless as Matthew was, as reckless as, he was with doing the stuff that he was doing, Savannah's just as reckless for tagging along with this dude while pregnant. So yeah, a lot of the things that Matthew was doing, they were reckless. But what Savannah was doing was just as reckless because she's right there with Matthew as he does reckless stuff with the baby growing in her belly. Now, when you're reckless and you're living that type of lifestyle, you welcome a lot of bad energy. You welcome a lot of bad actors into your life. I talk about it all the time. I am big on protecting my peace. Okay? I am big on protecting my peace. I have cut so many people out of my life because they were moving recklessly. And, it doesn't matter how you live your life. If you surround yourself with people who are moving recklessly, then reckless things are going to happen to you. So yeah, maybe Savannah was collateral damage. Maybe because she chose to be reckless by hanging around and having a child with someone as reckless as Matthew. Maybe that's why this happened, right? That's why all of this caught up with them, right? Because it doesn't matter how you live your life. You could be the most peaceful, law-abiding citizen in the world. If you're surrounding yourself with other people who are out here living and moving in a certain way, you can fall a victim because of what they got going on, not because of anything you did. But everyone, I feel like they're looking at Savannah in this innocent light, and everyone's not really thinking about the fact that, hey, just not that long ago, Savannah's brother was murdered. Savannah's brother was murdered not that long ago. So Savannah's family, there's a lot of stuff going on over here. Everyone's looking at Matthew like Matthew's to blame, but Savannah and Savannah's family and Savannah's side of things, they already had a lot of stuff going on. And whatever they had going on, it was enough to influence someone to kill Savannah's brother. It was already enough to make someone murder someone, right? So we already know we got killers out here targeting Savannah's family. So while Matthew maybe was the target, I just think that I don't want everyone to focus all of their attention on Matthew and totally miss something that could have caused this that was going on with Savannah. And then when I look at the crime, I can't put myself in the shoes of someone who would do something like this, right? I can't put myself in the shoes of someone who would do something like this. But the way I see it is like this. I really feel as if this crime was personal. But the way I think about it is, just because someone maybe hyped themselves up, just because someone found it in their heart to be capable of killing Matthew or robbing Matthew or doing whatever they did to Matthew, just because someone, was able to find it in their heart to do that act, doesn't mean that they would be able to find it in their heart to kill a pregnant 18-year-old girl, right? Now, don't get me wrong. People are capable of anything. That does not fly over my head. All I'm saying is in this wicked world, I would like to think that there's maybe just a drop of compassion even in the most evil of people, even in people who are willing to take other people's lives. So the way I see it is, just because someone had some beef with Matthew and they wanted to harm Matthew or take Matthew out or do this or that to Matthew, doesn't mean that they would be willing to do the same to Savannah. Just because someone wanted to kill Matthew doesn't mean that they would find it in their heart or be capable of also killing Savannah and her unborn child, because she's pregnant, right? I can't think of anything worse than killing a pregnant woman. But when you think about this being personal, what's more personal than that? If you're a evil person out for revenge, is that not the ultimate revenge? Not only taking the life of an 18-year-old child, but you're also taking the life of an unborn child. You're ending one life early and ending another life before it can even really begin. That's as personal as you can get. And the way I see it, if someone's capable of killing Savannah while she's pregnant, then killing Matthew is nothing. That would be an afterthought. No one would care. If you're capable of killing Savannah, you're definitely capable of killing Matthew. But just because you're capable of killing Matthew doesn't mean you're capable of killing Savannah. Now, that may sound confusing to some people, but hopefully you all are following me on that tip. But yeah, don't get me wrong, folks. I still think that the most likely scenario is that Matthew is the target. Or honestly, if you were to have asked me yesterday, I would probably be like 70-30, maybe even 70-25, thinking that, hey, I'm 75% behind. I think Matthew was the target, right? But the more I think about it, is I feel like I'm about 50-50. I honestly feel like I'm about 50-50. Because everyone, even including myself, we're all looking at Matthew because he's dealing and he's doing this. But, we cannot ignore the fact that Savannah's brother was just killed not that long ago, folks. Not that long ago. So instead of searching through the dark, right? We're searching through the dark. We're grasping at straws. Who could have been after Matthew? We already know people were after Savannah's side of the family, or Savannah's side of the situation. Her brother was just killed. So as much as we're looking at Matthew because of what Matthew was doing, we have to look at Savannah. We have to look at Savannah. And like I said, I am at the point where I am like 50-50. I'm 50-50 on it. Honestly, because both sides were just wrapped up in so much stuff. Matthew had his own stuff going on, and Savannah had her own stuff going on. But here's the thing. I don't know how much Matthew dabbled into Savannah's family's drama and the beef that Savannah's family had, right? I don't know how much Matthew dabbled in that stuff. We don't know. But we know Savannah had all that stuff going on. And we also know that Savannah's tagging along with Matthew, right? So not only does Savannah have her own stuff going on, we know for a fact she has her own stuff going on, and she's right there, right alongside Matthew, doing his dirt with him. So she's got even more going on, really, than Matthew, you can say. So all I'm saying, folks, is as we sit here and we wait for answers, and everyone's, trying to figure out what happened, and everyone's investigating Matthew, let's not forget the elephant in the room. That someone related to Savannah was just killed not that long ago, and that's really still fresh. And, there was fighting in the courtroom. There's still a lot of that stuff going on. So instead of looking for all of these shadow strangers, let's, maybe look at the fact that this family has known beef in the area, beef that has escalated to the point that people's lives were taken and people were beat up in court. And when something like that happens, it never gets squashed. That beef doesn't get squashed. That beef doesn't go away. Sure, it may die down over time, but not enough time has even passed, right? That's still a fresh wound. That's still really some fresh beef, if you will, that's going on over there. But I want to hear from you all. What do you all think? Where are you at? Was Matthew the target or was Savannah the target? Like I told you all, I'm 50-50, and I'm really interested in hearing what everyone has to say about this. But while you're down there dropping your opinions in the comments, if you would like to support the channel, you could do so directly via Cash App. I'll have my Cash App in the pinned comment of this video, or you can donate via Super Thanks or for free. You can help the channel by liking, subscribing, sharing the video, ringing that notification bell, and all of that good stuff. But with that being said, I will talk to you all very soon in the next video.